Hello everyone. Around 2 months ago, I was in Seoul, South Korea. I was in Hongdae, more specifically. I was there generally being a weeb. I had just bought my most recent anime figure. Kind of in a good mood, kind of just going down the street, and I see a girl who's wearing Lolita fashion. This is what Lolita fashion looks like. It's very cutesy, it's characterized by a lot of ruffles and lace and bows. The origins of its name are dubious at best, but the fashion itself is very cute. This girl in particular was wearing something like this, except all white, no blue, it's just all white, very lacy, very ruffly. And it's kind of rare to see someone wearing this kind of fashion in Seoul, because Korea really doesn't have as much of a subculture scene as Japan does. Even Hongdae, which is kind of the subculture area for sort of many modern fashion things, it's still nowhere near the level of Japan. So I was kind of surprised, right? But I was like, slay. I love that for you, girl. Her outfit was honestly stunning, amazing. The coordination, just perfect. However, to my acute amusement and slight horror, she was smoking a cigarette. Literally like this cute ass girl with like frills and with this dead ass look in her eyes, you know. And then she proceeded to finish her cigarette, throw it on the ground and squish it with her foot. Her very cutesy Mary Jane pristine white, elegant heel. And this image left such an impression on my mind that I'm now drawing it 2 months later. It's not really going how I want it to though, the pose is kind of off. Girl smoking. Not entirely the poses I have in mind. Girl looking down, maybe? Yeah, kind of like this, but a little less angled. Okay, I think I might just have to foreshorten this a little. I also remember quite distinctly that she had a very fluffy bunny bag, like this, and that was also white. I thought she was so metal actually. The way she spoke too, she was speaking with her friends. It was so rough. Like I was not expecting it at all. I also remember that she had a lace at the back, like a corset detail. But I don't quite remember if she had it at the front too. She might have. I don't know what corsets look like. Kind of feel like it went something like this. And then there was like lace across here. Wow, the sun is in my eyes. Ooh, I can't see. Whoosh. I feel like it's okay, but you don't really get the sense that the camera is below her. Okay, I think the skirt is the problem. Also the head may need to be a smidge smaller. Also maybe the shoulder has to go a little bit up since we are looking at her from below. Something like that might work. Her headdress also had bows on them. There were a lot of bows on her. Wait, I don't understand how to draw the skirt. Skirt from below. Well, if I think about it, a skirt is pretty much just a cone, right? So if this is kind of looked at from below, then maybe it just looks like a trapezium, since the curvature kind of disappears. Does that make sense? If you just tilt this kind of upwards. Ah, so maybe this waistline is not meant to be curved that way, but it's actually meant to be a straight line, because the curvature disappears when you tilt. The rest of it is a... Or should I emphasize it and actually curve it upwards a little bit? No, curving it up I think is too much. Okay, so it's sideways. I can't lie, I don't entirely remember what her skirt looked like. So I'm just going to refer to the internet. Oh yes, it looked something like that probably. Okay, so there's a bow here. A lot of bows, presumably. And yes, they were kind of tiered with lace and frills. I wonder if there's a lace brush out there I can use instead of committing myself to torture. Okay, that's cool. I need to draw her hand. Like this? That's vaguely how it looks like, right? Yeah, that looks like a good hand position to be in. Okay. Well, why does her hand look so ass? Also, cigarettes are not that long, I know. The position of this arm keeps not looking quite right. I think it's meant to bend from here instead. The joint is there. I think? I don't know why I make my life hard with all these difficult angles and perspective shots. So unnecessary. It looks cool. You know what, that does look a bit better. Wow, I'm spending way too long on this sketch. Let's get to it. Not gonna spend too long on this cleanup, because I never do. Not my style. I'm surprised I even spent like an hour on the sketch. Oh, I remember, she was also wearing a choker, and her eyes were also like the deadest I've ever seen. Like, dead ass. So jaded. Kind of want to enlarge it a little bit, just so we can see more of her face. Not because I can't be asked to draw those ruffles. Ah, the sun. Ah, the sunlight. It is decidedly in my face. Okay, you know what? I'll fix the pose later if I have to. I kind of can't be asked anymore. So the background is some kind of grimy Hongdae back alley type of thing. Like an anime storefront with a gutter and there's cigarette butts everywhere type of thing. For now, I'll just keep it kind of abstract. So she had very fair skin. Also, it was bloody hot. This was like June. I know it was sweltering. I don't know how she kept all those clothes on, to be honest. Okay, all of her clothes were white. I don't think there was a lick of any other color there. There might have been a bit of pink, actually. The lace might have been kind of pink. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, let's put in some pink on her bows. That's kind of cute. And then like here as well. And her hair was quite black. Okay, something looks very off about the whole thing. Do I just have to take my own reference photo? I might. Well, I took a reference photo of myself, which I'm not going to show you because that's kind of cringe, bro. I'm going to change up the pose a little bit. Firstly, I want her arm to be a little closer to her face. Yeah, I want it to be more like over here. Actually, I also want her hand to be cocked over to the side. Yeah, like that. And actually, I underestimated the length of her arm, when in reality the elbow should come down. I also want her arm to be across her side, and it's gonna end up over here. Okay, I don't know why that was so difficult, but I think I'm now happy with the sketch. And now the colouring underneath is messed up, yo. Oh boy. Wait, her head is still too big. I'm gonna crash out, like actually. How long have I been stuck on the sketch right now? Okay, whatever, I'm shading now. I think that maybe the light source should come from this way. It would highlight the cigarette as well. Oh, right. This way, the shadow's going this way. The hands too, shadow's going this way. Elbows vaguely look like that, right? Well, actually, because of this thing, this entire part is going to be shadowed. For the most part, this will also be very shadowed, and so will the underside of the chest. Generally, if the light source is coming from above, under chest area is all just shadowed, right? But I think I figured out what's wrong. It's her upper body in general. It should be a little more tilted this way. Okay, and now she's moved a bit to the side, so I'm just gonna drag her over a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay, to continue with the shadows, generally speaking, I think most of this should be shadowed, just because I don't want all the attention to be at the skirt. But the shadow from the bust will pan out pretty softly on the lower half of the body, and maybe there will be some darker shadows. Generally, it looks a bit dodgy for now, but trust the process. Do you trust me? I trust you to trust me. Okay, and this is where I inevitably get very stuck, because I have no idea how to draw ruffles and lace, which I probably should have thought about before trying to draw this girl. However, I don't have that kind of foresight. Okay, I'm gonna go back onto Pinterest and look at some reference photos. Oh, but it all looks so complicated. I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna be very calm and drink some tea. Wait, now that I think about it, it was raining that day. I'm gonna draw some rain before I forget. Wait, that's kind of ambient. Okay, maybe I'll also clean up these lines a little bit, because that is hideous, man. Okay, I actually have to start drawing these ruffles now. Okay, so there's some kind of cute detail over here, like just some kind of lace thing. And then there's like another layer of lace before the final layer of lace, which is just white. And then there are just general creases around, because lace naturally has many creases. I'm not entirely sure about this dog. It's not looking quite right. Oh, actually that doesn't look too bad. Okay, maybe I'll just try continue doing this. Actually, if I do overlay and then just cover it with white, will that help a little bit? Maybe I'll also add a bow here. It looks a little bit empty. That might be in the line art layer and not the other one. Okay, usually at the back of these corsets, there tends to be ruching, which is like when they scrunch the material up to also create that sort of ruffly effect. So maybe there will be like a lot of little scrunches down her waist. I'm not even sure if this is right. Maybe this bow can be pink as well. Can't have enough pink in your life, am I right? You know, I'm trying to make this bunny bag look fluffy, but it actually just looks like he has fungus growing on him, like mold. Okay, now for the final boss, the skirt. Which is admittedly probably easier than I'm making it out to be, but I like to be dramatic. How do I draw ruffles? So basically you draw a bunch of lines, but like squiggly lines, kind of like that. and make sure they're pretty hard lines. And then it seems that you soften them out as they sort of taper towards wider fabric, kind of like that. I can't lie, that does not look the way I was hoping it would. I also think it's a little skewed. It should be more like this. I also think that these sleeves might actually curve like this. And I just drew that on the wrong layer. Never mind, I don't think that makes any sense. Reversion. Maybe it's more like this, like a diamond shape. Okay, compared to before, this is before, this is after. So I'm definitely making progress, right? Sometimes I'll start coloring and the colored version looks worse than the sketch. I'm on the right track, I think. 1 second, I need to pee. Piss time, piss time, piss, piss, piss. That was a good piss. I'd rate it a 6 out of 10. I think a hand is too big, actually. Actually, now it's too small. Skirt has to be darker on this side. And also this part. Okay, I haven't done much to the face, so I think I'll smooth it out a little bit. I think the mouth has to be a little higher up. I don't really get a good look at her face properly, so I'm not really sure what kind of makeup she had on, if any. So I'm just gonna give her the standard Lolita makeup, which is kind of minimal looking, you know. Just a little bit of natural looking lipstick. Hang on, I do feel like this triangle of light is in the wrong place. Should be more like up here. Maybe this part can taper out. Okay, her eyes were kind of dead. She was very much a Hongdae Onni, looking at you like you're some kind of insect. That's the kind of vibe I'm going for. One eye is too big. Oh my god, I drew it on the wrong leg and I'm about to crash out, guys. It's okay, it's actually not that deep. Is that where it's meant to be? I'm not entirely sure. Okay, I think actually her pupils are just a little too large on this eye. Okay, I feel a little stuck on her, so I'm gonna see what I can do with the background. So she was outside a shop, and it was kind of like a geek shop. So you know, maybe this here is the display. Maybe there's like a shelf with little anime figurines. That literally looks like a dump. Right now maybe she's being covered by the shop's ledge, maybe like this. Does it have to be that dark, do you think? No dark or quite dark? Maybe in the middle. Okay, that seems fair. Should I put light in her eyes? Like that? She still looks dead enough. Oh man, I really just want to combine the line art with the coloring just so I don't have to keep toggling between the layers. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Whatever. I just combined every layer I had into one amalgamation. Just how I like it. For real, I'm not really sure what I'm doing anymore. I think I'm meant to be cleaning up the lace and stuff. Wait, let me cook. All you have to do with lace really is just add more detail, am I right? So, what if I just like add more scribbles to this part and this part, like around the hem of things? Just scribbles. Yeah, that looks kind of convincing, doesn't it? Around here too. Nah, this lace is so cooked, bro. Literally, what is that? I don't think anyone understands how hard I'm concentrating right now. But for some reason I feel like I'm not really getting anywhere. The piece looks largely the same as it did since yesterday. Actually, I kind of want to make the sleeve a lot bigger. Puffier even, like this, maybe? Yes, that big. Wait, is that too big? It might be. Should I just keep it the way it is? Okay, I'm just going to extend it a little bit. Like that. Okay, I've literally resorted to penning in scribbles for the lace effect. Hey, that kind of works. Now just for this side. You know what? She's looking kind of cute, actually. Do you think I should leave this lock of hair just like hanging down? Or should I connect it to the rest of the hair like that? I think I'll leave it. Wow, doesn't her hair look so nice? I wish I had hair like that. That's a lie, it's too long. That would take ages to dry. Oh my god, guys. Comment down below how long it takes for your hair to dry. Yeah, I don't know why I said it like that either. Bro, I actually can't tell which position the eye is meant to be in anymore. I could just use my own face as reference. If I'm looking up, if I'm looking down on you. Okay, so it's actually meant to be sort of down here. I think this has to be more like up here. Actually, the entire thing has to be tilted a little bit. Wait, it still doesn't look right. Oh my days. Like this. And then like here? Maybe? I was trying so hard to make that bow look as juicy as possible, but I don't think it's working. Usually there's also lace on headdresses, right? Okay. Squiggles. Come on, I can do it. Squiggles there, and squiggles here. That should do it, shouldn't it? Maybe? I'm actually gonna have to make a lace brush one of these days, just to save me all this bloody trouble. You know, from far away, the headdress doesn't look too bad, Should I draw her some eyelashes? She probably had eyelashes, right? I kind of forget if they go down or up at this angle. Probably down, right? Not that you can see it from far away anyway. Wait, she's actually really cute though. Am I low-key impressed by my own ability to draw? I just gotta fix up the background and the smoke. And then oh my god, wait, I didn't draw the cigarette. And the hand is in shambles, oh my god. Okay, cigarette. Cigarettes are grey and white. Grey, white. I'm also pretty sure nobody holds them that low. They're more meant to be held between the fingertips, right? Maybe that's still too long, hang on. Okay, and because it's on fire, the end is going to be a little bit orange. Okay, her hand is a little too big, now that her face has gotten smaller yet again, boy. I'm just gonna get rid of this, and then add smoke, which involves just wafting in with a soft brush. What's a cigarette? It's not gonna be like too much, it's not house fire. Okay, it looks good, looks good. Now I just have to do something about the background, which is concerning. I don't usually draw backgrounds. I mean, I do, but they usually tend to be kind of abstract and not very architectural. So the fact that this is at a storefront is somewhat... Wait, it's raining! Which means that I can just kind of give it a vague blurry look and it'll look fine. Oh my god, I'm so genius. I'm just gonna vaguely shade it. Whoops. Wait, this smoke kind of looks ass though. I want to do it again. Okay, yeah, that'll do. You know what, I think I'm gonna call it a day there. I'm not missing anything, am I? No? I think I have all the details. The headdress, the lacy frilly dress, the bunny bag, the dead-ass eyes, and the cigarette that she later crushed with her foot. Oh, and my signature. Blue Hazard. Yep, let's see what a last tone curve can do for us. Ooh, oh boy. That looks like a horror movie. I think that's fine. Okay everyone, that's the story of how I saw the girl in Hongdae in a Lolita dress, smoking a cigarette, and being very cool and metal about it. Although I wouldn't recommend smoking, bad for your lungs. Not that I smoke, because I don't, because it's bad for my lungs, and they're expensive. But just the duality of her, it was pretty metal. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe, you know it. I'm sorry, I'll never say that again. That's a lie, I might. No promises.